Hi guys, it's First Kings FX once again, and we are here to take you through our plan and our analysis for GBPUSD. Today is 6th of October 2025. It's First Kings FX, and we are here to take you through our analysis for GBPUSD, what we think and our ideas. So let's take you through, and I hope maybe from this maybe we shall help someone out there who is yearning for some analysis on GBPUSD. So let's go. So when we go to our weekly a daily time frame, I think I'm going to begin from a daily perspective, because it is what can really give us like a way through on how to understand GBPUSD. So when we go to a daily time frame, what do we see? We see that markets in the past, they broke structure, but after breaking structure, they changed their character in a way that they started doing what? They started selling. But how do we realize that? After doing this change of character, here it's where we have our order block, and as you can really see, markets came back and retested that place with a pullback, and then they started buying again. But if you wanted to get that trade, maybe what you would have done, you would have used this past higher low. It's what you would have used. You would have used this, because you see we were in an uptrend, so I could call this one a higher low. Yes, I could call it a higher low, and after its retest, the markets went above. So let's do this, and after that we see that we have a break of structure around this zone, and markets reached this climax. And after reaching this climax, what do we see? In a bullish market, when markets reach such zones, when markets are moving in such kind of a sort, which is a bullish market, and they reach a point and they start forming some small candles like these ones, you realize that the market is losing momentum on a buy side, and maybe it might change what? It might change direction. And for that reason, when markets reached around this zone, what do we see? We see that markets failed to do what? Markets formed this higher high. After forming it, we see that after that they formed a failed higher high, which we can call a higher low at this very moment. When it becomes a failed higher high, it becomes a higher low. So that's why we see that the markets around this zone, they refused to go up, and they stopped around this zone. But the reason is because there was a fair value gap around this zone, which pushed the markets to form this what sort of a doji candle, if you can really see it very well on a daily time frame. And because of this fair value gap, we got this, and the markets are now trying to push down. So why are we planning on sales for this week? First of all, what do we have to see? We see that the market, after forming this failed higher low, it has been forming several higher lows, as you can really see it from here also. So when we go to a perspective of a 4-hour, you can also see it from here where we formed this higher low. We also see this higher low at the same time. The markets are failing to break it to the above. If they broke it to the above, let me show it to you. If they broke it to the above, and maybe we got something of a sort, the candle closed above, we could get a retest, and then we continue up. But now the fact that the markets are trying to form like higher lows, it means that the markets are going to push down, and we already have our setup around this zone. I've already also shared it in my group when we go to a 1-hour time frame. So let's analyze the 1-hour time frame, and the 1-hour time frame will give us a reason as to why we have to wait for this market, and then we said it. So as we can see, the markets are doing what? They're having a buying pressure, selling pressure, and there is no longer a buying pressure in the market. Though on lower time frames, when you check there, sometimes you see that there are pullbacks, and if you haven't really been analyzing the markets for so long, you could even buy from here. I think that the markets are going to what? To buy. But when the markets are going to do what? To sell. The overall picture, you see it from the higher time frames, 4-hour, daily time frame, weekly, and then monthly. So now here we have, let me see, we have a space of around 84 pips. So should the markets close from below, I'm just waiting for a retest. Should the markets retest in the New York session, I'm going to sell, and I grasp, or I get these 84 pips. So right now, when we go to a 1-hour time frame, let's do analysis on the 1-hour time frame. The 1-hour time frame is going to give us a picture on everything. So as we can speak, we are going to use only this gap it is going to show this gap only. It is going to show us what I'm speaking about. So let's first remove this. So when we go to a 1 hour time frame, what do we see? We see that as the markets are going down, they are doing what? They are doing break off of structures. So on 1 hour we have a break off structure around this zone, and after that, what do we see? If markets, now some people would mark this and they call it a change of character, but I tell you, this is a wrong thing. If you're doing it in the market, it's very wrong. Why? You cannot call it a change of character here. Why? Because this was acting as liquidity, a liquidity kind of a zone. So markets had to break it and then push above a little bit. After pushing above a little bit, they retest in one of the what? Order blocks which were there. And which order block is that? It is this one which they failed to break above. And after failing to break above it, what do we see? We also see that markets created a higher high and then a failed higher high, which becomes a higher low. And after that, what do we see? Let me first remove this. What do we see after that? We see that after the break of structure, we have what we didn't even also have any other continuous break of structure, but the only thing that we are expecting right now, since the markets are consolidating from around this zone, we want to see the side they're going to break to. But the side they are showing right now is a what? Is a sell. So should it break below this, we are taking ourselves up to here. We might grasp like around 70 pips. We might get 70 pips from around that place. So what we are waiting for right now is a retest during the New York session, because the markets have given us a sell move in the morning. So I'm expecting maybe if the markets are to retest, they could retest up to around this order block. Then after retesting up to around this order block, we could receive a what? We could receive a sell. If you were to see it very well, why I'm telling you that we could receive what? We could receive a pullback up to around this zone. It's because I use what we call institutional numbers. Like I always plot these lines using daily time frame. Why? Because on a day we are daily traders. Like we trade on a daily basis, and for that reason I always go on my daily time frame and I try to understand it. If I understand the bias of the day, where liquidity is, where there are orders, I would understand where the market is going for that very day. So as we can really see right now, the markets are around this zone. So should the markets close below, should we get a candle which can close below this zone before New York session, I'll consider my sales very well, and I'll be willing like to do what? To sell. So at the moment, guys, be prepared to sell. We are selling from around 1.34289, and we are going to take our profit from around like 1.3315. So guys, be ready to do what? To take sales on GBPUSD as we prepare for this week. Otherwise, I wish you all the best. If you find this analysis very helpful, please click a follow button, and also if you find it really important, also you can go on my pages and you follow them. That is Fast Kings FX on TikTok and also on Instagram. Otherwise, I wish you all the best, guys. Be blessed.